Evolution games are a rare breed. Ever since Spore came out almost 20 years ago, there was this big emptiness of evolution games out there. But within the last few years, we have had a sudden emergence of evolution games over here on Steam. And I'm going to show you, I got 15 of them here to show you, all the way from creatures to species to planets, up to spaceships as well over here on the list. So we'll start the day with Planetary Life. This is it's the full thing from cells to civilizations. You start out with a dead planet and trying to manage that planet first off by, heat and humidity and the gases that are available on the planets for your little creatures that you plop down in a pond, and try to keep these little fellas alive and not competing, well, I guess competing, but not too much, that kind of whole thing. Ecosystems is the word, and slowly spread it onto lands. You get trees, and eventually advanced species and civilizations. Well, it's not there yet, but civilization is supposed to be there soon. This one's by Sotenbox. Came out here in 2025 and still in early access. Certainly one to keep an eye on. All these, of course, are there's links to the Steam pages in the description, and I have links to videos that I have done on these if you want more info and want to see more of them. I've played all these, so links are in the in the comments for the videos that I have done on these. Next up, we're going to Thrive, and in that Spore style, the cell stage of Spore, if you want to think of it that way, you start with a cell, and by throwing in nucleuses or nuclei and feeders, and slowly growing your cell to take in the different resources that are out there, from the ammonias, the glucoses, and the phosphates, to slowly piece together and evolve your tiny cell into a creature. There's more of your cells walking around, or organisms, I should say, swimming around in your puddle, as well as the competition, and you got to try to not only compete but thrive in this creature evolution game. Came out in 2021. It is still in early access. It came on Steam in 2021. It's been around for a lot longer than that. And that's the thing with these evolution games, is they take a long time to develop. Thrive's probably one of the more complicated ones, or for more detailed, not complicated, but more detailed ones that are on this list, because it goes all the way down to like base compounds to put your species together. Next up, we got Primordialis. This one takes the more of the action RPG style of this. You're still in the cell stage. You're creating your little creature, and you're piecing it together piece by piece, whether you're adding in, venomous tentacles, or the Steam page says exploding children. You can create your little creature and make it in this sort of top-down action RPG style roguelite system, as you're just fighting off, growing, evolving, and create the most hideous creature you can possibly imagine. This one came out in 2025. It is still in early access over here on Steam by Kyler Natividad. Adapt moves us into the creature stage here. Again, another highly inspired by Spore, and you can create all manner of hideous things as you walk on the land. You've made it out of the cell stage. You're now on land, and you're piecing together your creature, whether it eats fruits or other creatures, and attempts to thrive. You will have ideally a whole planet of your creatures. Once you go and find yourself a nest, you can evolve some more. The more you eat, the more nutrients you get, the more you can evolve the thing, and try to create a freaky little creature. This is by Paul Hervey and published by Slug Disco. This one came out in 2021. The demo came out in 2021. The game is still in development, but the demo's there on Steam, and you can check it out. Sipho is up next. This is another one of those action survival games where you are a tiny creature and you are top down, run around chomping and use those resources that you grab from eating all this stuff to level yourself up and add on new parts, new chompers, new energy holders. And there's an adventure mode in this one. There's also a sandbox mode, of course. And by all parts connected. Came out in 2023, and this one is fully out. All right, enough creatures, enough animals. Let's go to space. Drifter Star Evolution. From Stardust to Cosmic Sovereign, you are a little speck of dust at the beginning here, and slowly but surely you slam your way into other specks of dust and create a rock. And then your drifting rock will turn into an asteroid, and then that asteroid will slowly piece together and turn into a little dwarf planet, and then gets bigger and bigger. Your planet will start getting moons of itself. And there is different ways of playing this. There's different endings to this as well. Eventually, you work your way up into like a black hole or some sort of singularity or neutron. Eventually, you go into turning yourself into a massive galaxy, swallowing other galaxies out there. It's in that sort of like idle-ish, incremental, I suppose, is the word for this one. From slowly growing your little piece of dust up into, well, something. It is here on Steam. Came out last year, 2025. It's fully out. It's cheap too. It's only $4. Back to space. Reassembly is the next one on the list. So this doesn't quite look like an evolution game, but it is. You're just a spaceship. You're doing the same thing as you were on the other ones where you're a cell. You're just, instead of being a cell, you're a spaceship. And your guns are your teeth, and your batteries are your stomach. But you're piecing together your little creature here, and running through in a sort of action RPG, top-down creature evolution game by Anisoptera Games and published by Indie Voyage. Came out in 2015, way back in 2015. Reassembly's got a lot of things that have inspired from Reassembly, and but it still is that same creature evolution thing. Just it's in space. Next up, we're going to Everything is Crab. This one just came out here back in May of this year. This is if you take that like sort of mixing Spore with like a modern roguelite. You're a little creature, you run around. We do a lot of run around on this one. Hunting and scavenging and thriving in your ecosystem here. And every once in a while you level up. And as you level up, you change some sort of feature on your creature, whether it's horns or teeth or whatever, and try to survive without dying in this sort of modern roguelite style. Came out here in May by Odd Dreams Digital and published by Secret Mode. Next up, we're going to Strange Seed. We're back in the creature stage, where you start out as a little blob, but as you eat, you gather DNA that you can add new parts onto you. This one's a little different because it's less sandbox, and it's more more focused, to where you're basically completing puzzles. You've got bosses in there that you got to get to. See, from stage to stage, you'll find yourself a nest. You pop out of the nest. You spend your resources that you collected along the way, and whether it be wings or climbing feet or giant teeth, you try to find your way through these puzzles, essentially, as you make your way through the map in an adventure game style. By Chronicle Games and Slug Disco is publishing. This one came out last year in November. Ecosystem is up next. This one, as the name implies, you're making a whole ecosystem, not from one species, but you are also managing the whole pond, the whole ocean, or whatever you're dealing here with us on the environment. Laying down the grasses and making sure you've got the right environment for each of your creatures. And once you add a bunch of different creatures in there, and just try to kind of watch them and hopefully they adapt and thrive in your ecosystem that you created. This is by Tom Johnson, published by Slug Disco again. That name's popping up a lot, isn't it? This is a little more on the create stuff, sit back, watch in the genre of evolution games. Lots of maps, lots of numbers, lots of charts. So you can watch your systems go. A little bit more on the God game side of evolution games. The Sapling is up next. This is both plants and animals that you are designing. It's a little bit God game and a little bit evolution game, to where you can micro mess with everything on this and create every creature you want, or you can turn on random mutations and just sort of let the game play itself. But you're developing a whole ecosystem, just like ecosystem we saw before. You are trying to manage that and keep your animals alive based on how many plants you have and how the world starts. It starts out as dead planets. Get your things in the oceans, and they slowly develop, assuming you have everything balanced correctly, and it'll start growing and take over the whole planet, assuming you do everything correctly. This one came out here in 2019. It is still in early access, still getting some development to it. We got an idle game, incremental game next, which is Cell to Singularity. This one came out in 2021, and it's got a lot of reviews over here on Steam. This one is free, but it has, free to play, so you can buy stuff if you want to do that. But it starts out basic as Cells, and if you play the game long enough, you will get your way all the way up there to like civilization stuff. I think they just had industrial revolution things in there. So like your planet gets real big, and it goes a long time if you want to. So from cells to dinosaurs, all that stuff. And if you're into incremental games, this is probably one to keep an eye on. Next up is Niche, a turn-based strategy style of genetic survival game where your creature, little dog creatures, are trying to survive in this turn-based style of thing. Each of them have so many action points. You got to feed them, you got to breed them, and you got to survive in your environment. Now, there's only so much food, there's only so much space, and there's only so much genetic diversity within your little clan. And so you got to find new creatures, get new genes in there to spawn them. Some of the genes are bad, and you may get some really weird, messed up creatures. So you got to kind of balance that out. Find the creatures that are actually useful. Find the ones that can fight. Find the ones that can eat and not have to eat a whole bunch. Make sure you stay away from the koalas, and find the ones that will actually thrive in this environment. This is by Strafon, and again came out way back in 2016. But it's one of my favorites of these evolution-y games, especially with the turn-based strategy bits to it. I can't leave this without mentioning the Evolution board game, which is on Steam. If you haven't played the Evolution board game, it is a lot of fun. It's a card-based thing. You've got your creatures. You and another person are sort of battling it out, and there's only so much food in the pond. There's only so much meat, because if everyone's a carnivore, then everything's going to be gone and everything's going to die. If they're all herbivores, there's not going to be any greens left because everyone's going to eat them. So you have to kind of balance that in this head-to-head sort of adapting evolution game. But it's here on Steam also, and it came out. Well, the Steam version came out 2019. Board game's been a little longer than that. And the last one on the list is Caves of Cud. So this is a roguelike. It's a traditional roguelike, but the whole game is based around mutating yourself and evolving yourself into whatever you want. I've never played a game with such a sandbox, such an open complexity to it. The amount of depth in this game is, I don't know how to mention it, how to say it. You can turn your guy into anything you want. Just think of anything, and you can do it. You want to spray ooze out of your body. You want to turn into a door. You want to grow tentacles. Those are the basic ones. Those are the simple ones. It's crazy, and it's fantastic. It's one of the best roguelikes that are out there, and it is all about evolving and mutating yourself as you progress through this post-apocalyptic world full of robots and sentient plants and all the weird stuff out there. It's by Freehold Games, and Kit Fox is publishing this one. Came out back in 2024, and if you haven't played Caves of Cud, I highly recommend it. There is your list of evolution games this week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.